So in this video, I just wanted to talk about the prompt library and how it works. I don't think I've already covered this, but basically this is just going to show you where you can find everything, how it works, what exactly is prompting. So prompting is the easiest way for you to define how your chatbot should be working. So if you want it to respond in specific ways, if there's specific things that you want it to do, specific recommendations it should make, for example, giving users specific URLs, all of this can be done with prompting. Additionally, if your chatbot is not responding in the way that you want, and I have got dedicated videos on this, you can solve all of that with prompting. The best thing to do is make sure that you give your chatbot information on if there's common questions that it responds badly with, or if it's constantly inventing information about a specific question when you're asking it, then you can always improve that with prompting. So you can create a custom prompt, which will, and I'll show you an example here, come to so all of these down the right are your personal prompts, okay? So if I click on this ChatIQ helper, what I've done is I've added in a few examples here. So this one is a good one. A lot of people ask my chatbots if they can summarize large documents with ChatIQ, and you can't. But because that information is not included in the training data, because it doesn't say anywhere that you can summarize those documents, a lot of people, when you're writing an FAQ, for example, that you add to your chatbot, you'll only include things that are positive responses. For example, you'll only include responses to questions that are possible. So if you can summarize large documents, then obviously you're going to add that to an FAQ because you want people to know that you can do that. But often you'll forget to add things that you can't do. So the negative side of things. Now, I would definitely go ahead and build a document that explains, okay, these are the things that you can't do with our software, or these are the things that our product doesn't allow, because otherwise the chatbot can very easily just decide that it's going to invent that answer. So in this case here, you cannot summarize large documents with ChatIQ at the moment. So what I've done is I've included this in my prompt because it's just one question, it's easy for me to do, I can just whack it into my prompt very simply. So I've just said, ChatIQ is a chatbot builder for businesses and students. It cannot summarize large documents, translate large documents yet. It's not designed to write large blocks of text. These features are coming soon. So I've told it, these are the things that it can't do. So that gives you an idea of how you can stop hallucinations with prompting. Now, again, if you watch the deep dive tutorials, it will explain that in a lot more detail. But basically down here on the left are a whole load of public prompts that I've created and other users have created. For example, interactive language tutoring, cooking skills development. You've got all sorts of different categories. Customer service is where obviously most people are spending most of their time. This if-else multi-phase prompt, this is incredibly complicated, incredibly detailed, and also very useful if you can get it to work. So I would definitely recommend watching that video. It's called Advanced Prompting Part 2, actually Part 1 and Part 2. Those two videos will explain that in a lot of detail. But what you can do, if you decide that you want to use a specific prompt, for example, if I want to use, the creative writing, right? These are ones that I think have been created by other users, okay? So you can see if you want to use these. This one here, we're going to save this prompt. What it's done is it's then added it to my prompt library, and then I can go ahead and I can use this if I want to in one of my chatbot builds. Now, if I don't want it anymore in my prompt library, if it's getting clogged up, I can delete it. So because this was a public prompt, when I save it, it's not going to create it as, it's not going to delete the public prompt. The public prompt here has now been upvoted to 2. So 2 users are now using this prompt. So you can actually look at the ones which have got the most upvotes. If it's got a lot of upvotes, lots of people are using it. So it gives you an idea of how many people are using it. Now, I decided I no longer want this prompt in my library. It's going to tell me here the name of the prompt that I'm deleting, and also if any chatbots are using this prompt. So if I go back, right, and I think I'm using this prompt in a chatbot. Oops. Okay, so for example, like if I delete this one, right, and this one's not using in a chatbot, but if a chatbot was using this, then it would say, there's a chatbot using it. So I can delete that one, right? So you can manage your prompts in any way that you like. This one is green because it's a public prompt, so I've created it as public. The blue ones are private, which means only I can see these prompts. So for example, I'm going to delete this prompt as well. I don't want that in my account. So I can clean up my prompt as well. If I decide I want to duplicate a prompt, so for example, right, if I do this, if I come to customer service, what I want to do is, we've already got this multi-phase one here, but I want to create this one again, right? So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call this if-else advanced single. Tell you what, we'll just call it single phase. And I'm just going to create this for customer service, and we'll just do exactly this, right? So to start off with, we've now got that one there and this one here. So we've got two prompts. I've now duplicated it. It started exactly the same. It's exactly the same prompt. It's just, you can see here, it's created it here. If else is a single phase prompt. And it's exactly the same prompt, but I've created it as public. I've also got it here in my own library. So then if I want to, I can change it and update it and make any adjustments. Now, the fun thing to know about public prompts are this. If I'm using this prompt here, and I then decide I'm going to edit it, and it's public, it will also update as public here. Okay, so any changes that you make live here will update live for everyone else. But if you're using a public prompt yourself, you'll basically, what you'll do is you'll actually duplicate it as a private prompt. Okay, so for example, anybody else who has previously saved this prompt or has saved this and are using this in their chatbots, if you, as the owner of this prompt, edit it, it won't edit their chatbot. Okay, so if you save a public prompt, like this one, for example, and then the owner updates this prompt, your prompt will still be what it was when you saved it. But anybody else who saves it moving forwards from that next update will save the newest version, if that makes sense. So you don't need to worry about the original owner of that prompt updating it or changing it. When you save it, it duplicates it into your personal prompt library. Okay, so you don't use that current live prompt, because you obviously, if someone's updating and changing prompts for your own chatbots, that's a problem. So you don't need to worry about that. But it does mean, if you're building a chatbot prompt and you want to share with people what it is you're building, especially in the community, you can tell them where to find it and they can see the latest update that you've done. You can also create sub-prompts. So if, for example, someone saves this prompt and then edits it, you can see this is a sub-prompt that's been created within that. So people can also save and view sub-prompts. Let's see if there's another example. There's one here. So you've got the customer service one that's been written, and then I think I built this one. I then saved it and edited it, but also kept it public, and it's created another sub-prompt. I'll see if I can do an example for you. Okay, so we've just saved the FAQ support, which is this one here. Edit this. We'll create it public, and we'll do this. Sorry, I should have recorded that. So I just saved it, and it's shown up here. So FAQ support, this is a sub-prompt of this one. Test, that's the name of the prompt. If I now delete this, it's still here. Okay, so that prompt still exists for other people. It's now part of the public library. So once a prompt's deleted, once a prompt's been created as public, it will remain public. You can't delete it from the public, but you can only delete it from your own personal library, if that makes sense. So be careful, obviously, when you're doing that. If you want a prompt permanently deleted that you've accidentally created public, send us an email at help@ChatIQ.ai, and we can go ahead and do that for you. I think that's everything there is to say about prompts. Obviously, you can create your own prompts here, and make sure that it's automatically set to public, okay? But make sure you change it to private if you want to. I've now created a new prompt, which I can then use in my chatbots. If I want to change the prompt my chatbot is using, come to settings. I can choose that chatbot. So, for example, widget 3 is going to use, I don't know, we'll call specialist educator. We'll save that prompt. Now, if I come to my data feed, right, you can see here, none of these have got any errors on them. But if I come to settings and I click on widget 3, specialist educator, let's just change it to this one, if else, this test one. So widget 3 has that prompt. I think it was this one. If I delete that prompt, I come back to the data feed, this chatbot now has an empty prompt. Okay, there's a warning around it, which means now if I talk to this chatbot, it'll just be using the default prompt, which is incredibly wide open, which means it can just invent answers. It won't be following any specific rules. It will just be basically basic GPT-3 with a few specific examples that we've given it hard coded. So make sure that you're not creating chatbots, without any prompts. Make sure the chatbots that you're creating always have prompts. If there are any specific prompts you want to create, you can create them all in here. Once you've built a chatbot, for example, if I want to build a new chatbot and I create a chatbot here, these are the list of all of my prompts. So that one that we created earlier, the single phase one, is available for me to use. I can use one prompt in as many chatbots as I like. So if you have chatbot builds that you're doing for clients, what you can do is just build one prompt and then use it across multiple chatbots, or build one prompt and then duplicate it and use it as a template. For example, if this is the one that I'm using, okay, so I can call this, let's do this as a private prompt. So I'm going to call this if else. So let's say right, this is a template that I've created, and I've got a new client coming on, but I want to update this because in here I've got different links, and I want to change these links specific to that client. I can duplicate this prompt. I'm going to call this client 1. We'll keep it in customer service and we'll make it private. So, oops, let's not delete that. Make sure that button works. Close that and do that. So we now have, it's exactly the same prompt, right? But it's now for client 1. So I can make duplicate versions and variations if I want to. So now when I build a chatbot, I click on create chatbot, client 1, I can use that when I want. I can also, if I come back to settings, I can say, right, okay, actually let's just swap it out. Swap out the prompt that I'm using. And that will be done instantly. So as soon as I change that prompt there, instantly updates, like on their website, once their chatbot's on the website or on your website, and you change the prompt within ChatIQ, you don't need to do anything else, right? It automatically updates. So this chatbot here that we've got on the website, the prompt that it's using, if I change it within ChatIQ, I don't need to re-embed it onto the website. It's already embedded. Everything will update automatically. It'll be ready to go. So you won't need to do anything else. I think that is everything to cover within prompting. Can't think of anything else. Obviously, you can check within categories where you've got things saved within your own account. You can edit things and you can change where it's saved. I think that's everything. So yeah, if you've got any other questions, let me know in the community. Prompting is a very exciting topic. There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing within prompting, and I would definitely recommend watching these multi-phase chatbot prompts. They're quite powerful.